Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer joins me today to unpack the latest news in the mining industry. Hi, Martin.
Thanks, Ashley.
Now, the London Indaba heard that China sees pleasing Africa as a form of insurance against trade war impacts.
It was incredible insight that you got at this London Indaba, and it was coming through from Australia. And of course, the Australians are close to the Chinese. They know what is happening there. But you wouldn't expect them to know as much about what China is doing in Africa, which we should be looking at. And it was good news, really, for Africa, because this Hunan model that they've got is really a going out into Africa. And it's making sure that this Hunan province, for a start, can be a very green province. And it is already very green. I mean, the description we got was that, you just see solar panels all over. And the idea is that they'll stop importing heavy oil and gas and that they'll be doing their own electrification. And they're saying that in the Hunan model is also a going out to Africa, because they feel that this will protect them from some of the backlash they may receive on the trade front, going to the trade wars. And they're really moving out there to make sure that there's a good economic flow from Africa. And when you look at that Hunan province, it's something like the Nile Basin of China, and apparently they've already solved all agricultural issues there. And you see, the BYD car coming out of there. You see Saini, like when we go down to the East Rand, you will see, I call it Saini, it's probably the description there, but it's a heavy equipment Chinese producer that has got a big operation here in South Africa. That is also based in this Hunan province. And I think we need to study up more, how we can fit into that, because apparently they're doing education as well in Tanzania. They're bringing in people into TVET colleges, making sure that there's a lot happening. And they're also pretty close to Zimbabwe because of the lithium.
Now, also talks about at the Indaba was Malawi and Nigeria's transparency around geological data.
Well, this came in for a lot of praise. At the London Indaba, people were saying that if you want to get business now, if you want to get investment, you've got to, on the mining front, be very transparent. People have got to know exactly what they're going into. And they're saying that Malawi has become the first country in Africa to open up its geological survey data completely to investors. And Nigeria apparently is the second. And what they're saying is it's not only in Africa, this is going to be everywhere people invest, and there's a flurry at the moment to invest in mining all around the world. But their first step is, what have you got in your geological survey? What is your data? And so the plea from London was that all African countries should do this. And I think that we in South Africa must look more and more at big transparency on the geological front, because we need to get our mining industry going here. We're probably further advanced than anyone else in Africa to get going. But on the geological front, we've always been a little bit slow. And hopefully this will spur us on, because I see that Tanzania is also moving forward with a lot of transparency. And we saw Zambia, so it's interesting.
Lastly, can you tell us about the 3 power purchase agreements that Richards Bay Minerals has signed and what this means for the company's energy consumption?
Yes, you look at a mining company like Richards Bay Minerals, making very important mineral sands products, going into a lot of our daily life of paints and smartphones and everything else you can think of. And the extent to which, they want to actually receive their self-generated electricity and from power purchase agreements and from independent power producers is quite enormous. And the 3 deals that they've already done takes up 80% of what they're consuming. And we're talking about near-term supply, 2028, 2029, 2030, having like 80% of the electricity consumption now clean and green. And there are financial benefits as well. The cost comes down. So it shows you when you really concentrate on changing from the coal-based power to clean, green energy, which is important because you've got to sell your product and it's got to get these premium prices for being clean and green. You can actually, if you put your mind to it, do it quite quickly, secure it through the wheeling on the transmission lines. And I must say that Richards Bay Minerals has done this pretty well.
Thanks for speaking with us, Martin.
It's a great pleasure, Stashni.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news analysis on the local and global mining industries. And don't forget to listen to the audio version of our Mining Weekly daily email newsletter.